That's solid. That's more solid than a silicone. Have we just invented something? This could be something brand new. To have something set within the space of a minute, you could make instant molds. I mean, it's allowing me to mold it into like a sausage shape whilst it's still setting. But now, as I begin to pull it and twist it, it's like instant silicone. I mean, that's insane, guys. Right, we are back with another quick experiment. So many of you would have seen my video where we made a type of paste using liquid latex and corn flour. Now, I haven't actually released that video yet. I'm filming this. It's actually due to post tonight, so it is Thursday at the moment I'm filming. But I'm already kind of predicting some comments. I don't know whether they are, going to say this, but I'm predicting, could we use this for inlays, to make inlays? Now, I did have a quick search on YouTube. Shalina over at Resin Art did an experiment 4 months ago where she poured liquid latex into a mold to make inlays. Now, what we saw during the video that I did mixing this with cornstarch, is that the mix we had left in the pot actually set really quickly. Within 30 minutes it was quite rubbery. Now, Shalina, I know her video, I think she said in her video she had to wait 5 days. So I'm wondering whether we could make a quick inlay using this mixed with the cornstarch, because it did set really fast. So we're going to try it. So I'm no master of making inlays. Claire, Wendy, Shalina, lots of other YouTubers do this on a regular basis. I don't. So please don't come at me. Don't judge me. This could go horribly wrong. So part of me is thinking to tip some of that actual straight liquid latex into the mold and kind of do like a thin layer first before applying, because we are going to get I think we're going to get a lot of bubbles, but I don't know. We're just going to wing it. We're going to see what happens. Best way. So, small mixing cup. Liquid latex. Gonna pour some of that in there. That's way too much, Daniel. Way too much. Getting too excited. That'll do. That's probably still too much. Come on. Most of the mass is made up with the cornstarch. Right, out comes the corny stuff. Guys, is it a cornstarch and corn flour? Are they the same thing? I don't know. Again, I'm not measuring this. I'm just adding it until... I wonder if I made it into like a pate, I could really push it into the mold to prevent those horrible little air bubbles. I don't know. Will it cure if I make it into a pate? Let's try. I think that'll be... I'm making a mess. That'll be the first experiment. Making it really thick. And seeing if it actually sets. So I'm going to keep adding it until it's... Sorry, my focus is gone. Keep adding it until it's really putty-like in consistency. Guys, the smell, again, the smell is so strong. Definitely, oh, it's horrible. And we're starting to get that squeaking. Gotta love the squeaking. Bit more, I think. It's not workable by hand. In the cup this time, not over the sides. I think that was too much. It's setting. It's starting to set already. How? Look. So we're definitely onto something here, because the flour it's like it's activating it. Oh, what am I going to do? I can't use that now. That's too hard. Look. I can't even tear it. It's like it's activated the liquid silicone so fast. And I only paused it for about 10 seconds. Look at that. This could be something brand new. Like rapid set inlays. This is incredible. No mixing silicone. Nothing like that anymore. That's insane. What's that? Don't know what that is. Something must have been in the flour. That's crazy. I can't tear it. I'm gonna try it. I'll tell you, I'm gonna try. It's not breaking. That's solid. That's more solid than a silicone. Have we just invented something? I can't destroy it. No. Right. Wow. You can hear from the scissoring action there just how strong this stuff is. My scissors even, like, they didn't want to cut it. That's phenomenal. We could be onto something. I don't understand the science behind how that's happened. Because if I leave a cup of liquid silicone on its own, just as the liquid itself, because it can take quite a while to harden. But this is hardened almost instantly. That's crazy. Right, I think clean up and start again. Okay, right, I had to take 5 minutes then. I had to film that and I sent it to Claire and Wendy because I've never seen anything like that. Ever. I mean, to have something set within the space of a minute, I'm thinking if I can get this and tweak this perfect, we could make instant molds. If we were to press like a shape into it before it sets, we've got an instant silicone mold. We've got instant silicone, not silicone, latex. I'm super excited with this. Instant molds, instant inlays, and extremely cheap to make. I mean, this stuff is cheap, and the bulk of it is the flour. Okay, I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna show you in real time, without pausing it this time, exactly what happened, because I'm still a little bit shocked. I'm not going to pause the video. I'm not going to edit it in any way. You are going to see how quick this is happening in real time. So I added that amount to begin with. I began to stir that. And then I added one more to that mixture. Let me lock my focus. It would help. Okay, so thoroughly mix that in. It's still going to be a little bit lumpy. Then I added another scoop. Now watch this. As I begin to mix this, you'll see just how rapidly this stuff is setting. And I don't understand how. I'm not going to repeat my words that I put in the chat with Claire and Wendy, because I will probably get a ban from YouTube. So okay, watch. It's hard to even get off the stick. Okay, it's still a little bit wet, but watch what happens in just 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds. I mean, it's allowing me to mold it into like a sausage shape whilst it's still setting. But now, as I begin to pull it and twist it, it's like instant silicone, but with latex and flour. That's how quick this stuff is setting. I just wanted to show you in real time in case people say, oh yeah, but you pause the video, you cut the video. I mean, that's insane, guys. That I've never ever seen anything like that in my years of doing this channel. That, what the actual, yeah, you get it. So, I mean, when I began filming this video just around 20 minutes ago now, when I said about Shalina trying this over at Art and she waited 5 days for the liquid to cure, I was not expecting a minute. I was not expecting that. I was hoping on maybe 6 hours, 7 hours, possibly. I don't know, but I was not expecting that. You're seeing that here first. So now what we need to do in this video is try and work out the best ratio to be able to work it so that it's not as rapid. I mean, that's too rapid, I think. We need to slow it down a bit. Okay, it is now the following day. I had to go home. I did some research. I tried looking into whether this had been done, and I couldn't see anything online. I mean, there have been experiments using flour, but I think it was just normal flour just to make it thicker. But what they were doing was they were using that paste as a sculpting paste. And they even explained in the videos that it took hours to dry. So I haven't seen anything to this extent, but I was also wondering, because I was mixing very, very fast, and in those, well, one particular video where they were using it for sculpting, they were adding small amounts and stirring it to reduce the clumpiness. Some were using a what do you call it, a sieve, you know what I mean, to refine the powder as they're adding it. So what I'm going to try is just adding a little bit at a time, and I'm hoping that it won't set as fast, and I can kind of predict when it's at that consistency where I need to work with it pretty fast. So I'm going to try and take it a little bit slowly. So I'm predicting now I'm probably 1 or 2 scoops away from this being ready. So I'm going to get my mold ready so that I can hopefully push it into the mold to create something. So you will see now that it is looking like it's beginning to activate. So I think now is the turning point. If I get that, pop it in here, it's going to be messy. I think that is the stage. And I don't think these are going to be the kind of inlays that you can stick to a mold and then pour your resin on. These are going to be floating inlays that you would float on the surface or on the back of your piece and then pour it away. So I'm convinced that that was the correct timing. I mean, the outside is like it was when I first did it. at that stretchy stage. I'm just hoping there's not any trapped air in there where I've pushed it so it hasn't actually copied the mold. That's my biggest concern, is obviously with a lower viscosity kind of silicone you'd pour in, it has time to work its way into the areas, whereas this it hasn't really got that time or viscosity to do that. So I'm hoping now if I pull that away, I have a shell inlay. And I have. That's incredible. So taking my time to work with it and stir slower, introducing smaller amounts, has done it. And you can see just how strong that is. So all I would need to do now is just cut off the excess. And I have an inlay ready to use with my epoxy. I suppose with the back, I could, if I wanted to, level that out with just the liquid itself and let that dry so it does have a flat back. Or I could potentially, I don't know, lay it on some liquid latex and let it dry and set. But that could take longer because it's not exposed to any oxygen. But I'm just going to trim this up. This is incredible. And we have an inlay in minutes. I had to speed that up just because who's going to want to watch me sitting here stirring this mixture? But it only took a few minutes. And this is the excess that I've just... I mean, it's not as strong when it's in thinner amounts, but it is still strong. Another thing I have to think about is that latex can shrink. So is this going to shrink over the next day or so? I don't know. We'll have to come back and see. But I'm gonna try and see if I can make a quick mold using the same mix. I'm not going to show because you just saw me doing the mixing stuff, but I'm going to see if I can make a mold and I'll show you. So I've just got a jewelry mold and a starfish, and I'm planning on just getting the stuff in there as quick as I can and just pushing the starfish in and hopefully making the mold. Still, right, please work. Scrape that in there. Use my fingers really quickly. I don't think it's going to work. I can feel it's already lumpy in the middle. It's not the right shape either. It's not going to work for mold making. I really don't think it is. Just try and push it into all those gaps. This is messy. I'm wondering if a different approach would work better. You know, the metal mold making presses. Thinking if I could get this into a consistency, put it inside the metal mold press and then clamp it shut, it would work better than this. But I haven't got any to try. This is not going to work. Not for now, anyway. I'm just going to leave that for a few minutes. But I can already predict the results. It's not going to be usable. But with liquid latex, you can paint it over objects. you can use a heat gun to dry the layers and keep doing it and build up your layers until you've got a latex mold. I just wanted to see if this would work this way, just because it's quick. What I'm trying to do is really apply some weight to try and push everything and compact everything down like a metal mold making press. And just using my craft knife, I'm going to semi excavate the starfish. I can tidy up the edges once I've got it out. Okay, let's see just how bad this is. Just trying to loosen the outside. It's still soft where it's not been exposed to air, I presume. Underneath, look. Let's try and get that out. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. So this is potentially where Shalina's experiment took quite a while, because that wasn't exposed to air. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that it kind of sweats, it evaporates. I don't know, is there a water content in there? So during the evaporation, the liquid latex cures, which is probably why it's ammonia based mainly. I don't know, I'm just thinking. So I think it needs to evaporate, and if it's in a mold like this, it's going to take a while for that evaporation to take place from the bottom to fully dry. So it's beginning to dry now. I've taken that out, but is it going to be sticky or undry when I take this starfish out? Right, I've got to do some trimming up, but I don't think that is going to be usable whatsoever. But you can see it's picked up the detail of the starfish quite nicely. Could be usable, I don't know. Let me trim it up. I mean, it's not actually that bad considering this is the first time. It's not terrible, is it? I think if I was to cast some, maybe I'll try polyurethane just for today because it is quick and easy, if I've got any left. If not, I'll have to quickly mix up some epoxy and just give it a try. But again, my main concern is that it could still be letting off like an evaporation process. But I don't care, we're going to give it a try. And also, is it going to bond? I don't know. Let's check the seashell. I mean, it's strong. I think we need to test these two things out, don't we? Okay, going to quickly mix up some of the Let's Resin polyurethane. Right, so that should be set. So I know inlays are supposed to be done in a very, very different way with epoxy, but I just wanted to see, you know, really, really quickly whether it would work. So these overpours, I had too much, I mixed too much. I'll just use these for separate projects, but I just want to see if it has cured fully, which it has. Okay, I think I need to play around with this more if it's worked, and let's do this one first. There's a bit too much polyurethane in there. Yeah, I'm going to struggle to get that out. And the reason why I wanted to use polyurethane as well is it does give off some heat during the curing process. But it appears to have softened the inlay. So maybe I need to give that one a little bit more time to cool down, because it is still warm. I'm gonna just carefully. It seems to, has it bonded? I really hope not. This could be an epic fail with the polyurethane. It seems to have softened this slightly as well, which is strange. I'm gonna give that a little while to cool down a bit more as well. Okay, it is time to see. That one looks like a sliced egg. Let's see if I can get it out in one piece. I'm wondering whether I should put it in the fridge for a little while. Oh, it's still soft. I'm going to put it in the fridge for 10 minutes. But maybe polyurethane was just a bad choice. Maybe I need to try this with 2-part epoxy and see. Again, it's giving me a headache now, guys. But yeah, again, it's just an experiment. All right, let's try this again. I'm just going to go heavy-handed in there. It's not worked. And actually, the rubber feels like it's softened even more, which is not what we want. It's not looking good. Yeah, I don't think that could be used again. I don't know. It's got a bit of a yellowy colour. That's the latex. I suppose it could be. No, it's gone a bit misshapen where I've pulled it. That needs trimming up. I mean, for quick part making or something, I think it could be ideal. I need to snap off these excess bits. I mean, it's copied. It's copied the starfish, so it's not a complete failure for an initial experiment, is it? From where this video started to where we are now, we have missing a point there. This is Patrick, look. I mean, it's got potential, guys. It really has got potential, but I want something that can be reused, and I don't think that on this occasion. But maybe I need to make it deeper. It's tricky because you do have to work fast. Let's try and get this inlay out. This is gonna be extremely tricky. Try and get something in there to get it going. But I think the heat through the curing has affected the stuff. Definitely. Will it come out? Yes. You can see a print where I've kind of forcefully grabbed that. But maybe it just needed longer to solidify and cure. I don't know. Again, I mean, it's got some bubbles in there. I think what I'm going to do, right, you guys are going to help. You're going to put in the comments recommendations, ideas, how to tweak this, how to make this possibly better. I don't know, but I know as a community, we all work together. You guys are brilliant at dropping comments and giving suggestions and ideas on how to tweak things or do things differently. Yeah, and guys, read the comments as well and just see what other people are recommending and interact with each other and just see what you can come up with. But I just did something a minute ago with a leftover from, you know, when we were cutting it yesterday. Watch. Watch this. At least we've created an eraser. As always, guys, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment. If you haven't subscribed, hit that button. It is free. Definitely hit the comments with some suggestions, and I'll definitely come back to this. Maybe try epoxy and just see what happens. But the magic of how it happened really shocked me and stunned me. It's a little bit too quick for my liking. Maybe I need to try and slow things down, use less of the flour, and just see whether it cures over time. But my worry with that is that I don't know. Help. See you for the next one. Bye for now.